Welcome to channel Samson's Strength. I'm Samson. Today I'm going to tell you about the Samson Shred. That is a diet with a capital D. Now, this is a short-term significant change in calories consumed, usually a decrease. It's designed to affect a maximum possible change in body composition, usually fat loss, in the shortest amount of time. So I'm using the word diet with a capital D. Most people use the word diet and they say they're going on a diet. As opposed to changing your diet with a small d, which is simply changing the way that you eat. Now, there's a million diets out there. This is the only diet I've ever done, the Samson Shred. It gives me the results that I want. It's very simple. It's real. It's not some fake promise of six-pack abs, magic potion kind of stuff. It's very simple, requires work and focus and training. Pro tip, listen, if you don't include resistance-based strength training when you're in a caloric deficit, you will lose muscle and damage your metabolism. That's a fact. Okay, you can't just go on a diet and lose weight. It doesn't work like that. I'm going to be making a very important video on exactly why that is, but it cannot be overstated. The human body evolved to be good at losing muscle and storing fat. So if you just drop the calories, that's how your body's going to naturally respond, exactly the opposite of what you want it to do. Your body's a system with multiple processes, works together to maximize survival, not to look a certain way. First thing you're going to do is decide how many calories you're going to consume per day. For me, it was about 1250. Most people aren't going to deviate from this that much. It's going to be somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500, depending on a few things. It's not as important as most people make it out to be. The bottom line is you're going to drop your calories by quite a bit for a set amount of time. Give your body a reason. That's your training to maintain the muscle and the nutrients to do so. So my daily food intake on the Samson Shred would be 225 grams of my super secret special custom protein blend. So that's the bulk of my diet plan. I formulate this myself. It's a full spectrum protein from all source categories: milk, meat, egg, plant. It's got slow, medium, fast digesting protein. It's very anabolic and anti-catabolic. Nothing better. It is a meal replacement type protein, so it does contain some of what I have formulated into my peri-workout nutrition, but also from other food-based proteins, as well as sustained release casein protein. Also, good dose of medium chain triglycerides, vitamins and minerals, electrolytes, digestive enzymes. Is spiked with leucine, which is an amino acid that is insulinogenic without carbohydrates. It's not a commercially available protein. I custom make it myself. I wouldn't do the Samson Shred with anything else. So in addition to this protein, daily intake consisted of 6 tablespoons of milled flax, 6 egg whites, 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. That's for taste as well as its own metabolic boosting properties. Okay. There's also a freeze-dried vegetable extract that's actual exotic fruits and vegetables. So 1 or 2 servings a day of that. There's a muscle series from Protein Factory. They have green muscle as well as purple muscle, red muscle, orange. So you can mix and match for a variety of tastes. Biotest also has a superfood blend that's pretty good. So that's it. Daily intake, 225 grams of protein blend, 6 tablespoons of milled flax, 6 egg whites, 3 tablespoons of cinnamon, and 1 or 2 servings of superfood. That's it for the course of the day. That is it. Once a week, I would have a Samson Skinny compliant meal. That's 30 days right there. Okay? I wouldn't do it for less than 28, no more than 35. As for the results, well, let's look at some pictures. Okay, now it's important to remember that I did this off the couch. For the prior year and a half before I did this, I was not exercising or eating healthy. My daily level of physical activity and the kinds and amounts of calories that I was consuming was basically your typical American fare, right? And it's less than ideal to go into a diet like this like that. You don't want to do it off the couch, but I know that a lot of people do exactly that, and I wanted to see what would happen. So I should have cleaned up my diet, trained a few months, put on some muscle, increased my metabolism, and then did the Samson Shred. That would have I would have gotten better results had I done something like that. So I did not do this the way that I should have done it. The first time I did it, okay, I'd worked my way up to a very solid 222 pounds, went on the Samson Shred, 28 days, dropped to 187 pounds. And I felt great. It was incredible. So what happened this time? What did I get out of it this time? Well, pictures are still pretty dramatic, I think, and they're real. None of this is faked. It's not Photoshop. It's not unrealistic. I wanted to know what would happen if some middle-aged guy off the street did the Samson Shred. Now, before I saw anything in the mirror, the first thing I noticed was how my brain was working. Now, when I started this channel, I was eating like crap. I wasn't exercising. I knew there would be a learning curve, video editing, stuff like this. But what I didn't expect was to not be able to talk to the camera, right? I know this stuff like the back of my hand, and I turned the camera on and I froze. I couldn't formulate a sentence. 3 days on the Samson Shred, this fog lifted from my mind, and I realized that for the previous 18 months, I was in this food-induced stupor. Okay, carbs, insulin, candy, cake, pizza, burgers. All feels really good, but it's like a drug. I tried learning a new skill, and I couldn't do it until all that crap cleared out of my brain. Your life will change. I look better, sure. But even if I didn't look any better, it would still be worth it, honestly. I can't describe it. So I only lost about 10 pounds this time around, in part because I built a lot of muscle as well. Remember, I hadn't been exercising at all going into this. So with a new training regimen as well as a solid protein intake, I certainly added some muscle while losing fat. So the scale reading wasn't that dramatic, which is a good lesson in and of itself. You shouldn't worry about that at all. In fact, since going back on the Samson Skinny and being compliant with that and training and lifting heavier weights, I'm about at the same weight that I was before I started the Samson Shred about a month and a half ago, and I look completely different. Okay, I've lost about 3.5 inches off my waist. My clothes fit completely differently. I sleep much better. My skin is better. I'm far less depressed and anxious. Not something that I like to talk about, but my mood much improved. I'm more productive with my work. My relationship with my daughter is better. It's more active. Another thing this diet does is reset a lot of things with your body. Tastes and smells, completely different. A walnut tastes like a stick of butter. I'm not kidding. You don't know what you've been missing with respect to taste until you cleaned off your taste buds and reset all of your senses. And here's another thing. You lose your lust for crappy food. Pizza doesn't look good anymore, and it doesn't really taste good either. It's like an addiction. Imagine this for a second. Let's say you're a heroin addict. Okay? What does that look like? Well, you see a syringe, and your neurons, they get all fired up in anticipation, right? Because the drug feels really, really good. And it satisfies a very specific craving. Well, imagine pushing the plunger down into your vein and nothing happens. Just the discomfort from the needle and nothing, okay? Well, you're not going to get those cravings anymore. And believe me, there's nothing better for you than taking a bite of pizza or a piece of pie, and instead of feeling this insulin-induced euphoria, you just feel icky, right? You eat a few bites and it's just not appetizing. So that's what the Samson Shred does, psychologically, mentally. The first few days are kind of tough, but the diet's simple, and that makes it easier. So your entire day of food preparation takes about 10 minutes. That's it. You got to clean the blender a couple times. There's no cooking, there's no cleaning, there's no shopping, nothing like that. One of the best parts. You miss the food for a while, but after 2 weeks, you kind of start to realize exactly how much you've wasted in time and money on crap food. It's just not worth it. So now the training during this time is fairly straightforward. First, I do a NEPA walk, that's non-exercise physical activity, 45 to 60 minutes a day. I either did it on the functional trainer with mild resistance, or I threw on a weight vest and went for a walk. Again, that's every single day. As for the weights, what I would do is 3 weight training sessions per week. All 3 sessions involve 40 repetitions of each exercise. I would use a weight with which I could comfortably do 8 repetitions before slowing down. Do not train till failure or anywhere near it. Slow down, terminate the set. Complete as many sets as it would take to get 40 repetitions. I rested 45 seconds between each set, and I alternated between pushes and pulls. Pretty simple. Each week I would add 10 pounds to each exercise. Weights were embarrassingly light. Okay, I hadn't trained in 18 months. I didn't need to lift heavy. What I needed to do was keep my muscle and make progress each week, period. Not impress anybody. I was in a caloric deficit. Intense training could have led to muscle loss or worse, injury. There wasn't a need for it. So that was my weight training. In addition to that, in the NEPA, on Sunday, I would do a 10 body weight exercise circuit. Use your imagination, come up with 10, do 3 circuits of 8 reps each, and then the following week, try to beat your time and your total reps. And in 4 weeks, I doubled the work that I did in the same amount of time. And that's where I could try to get my lungs to burn a little bit, but still no need to reach a high level of intensity. It's much more important to leave yourself room to improve. Progress is the name of the game. So take it easy. I got plenty of time to kick some ass. So that's it. That's the Samson Shred. 30 days, 6 shakes per day, 4 solid meals, a daily walk, mildly progressive weight training sessions, and a body weight circuit that I try to improve each week. I lost a bunch of fat, 3 inches off my waist. I reset my metabolism, my taste buds, my insulin sensitivity. I improved my mood, improved my mind, improved my relationships. I did not spend a dime on food. I got back into training. I escaped the deathly ice-cold grip of food addiction. That's the best part. Now it's pretty easy to eat Samson Skinny compliant. Food tastes way better. I have no cravings for crap. I don't feed my feelings. My relationship with food is back to being a business relationship, not some codependent dalliance with some psychotic, dysfunctional, neurotic, hot mess, right? That's how most people's relationship with food is. Food with more of an Old Testament type purpose now. So we got a lot to talk about. Join me next time. Subscribe, thumbs up, check out other social media. There's a lot more progress to come.